Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. This is Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell for notifications. That way when I update the next video, you'll get a little reminder. Guys, what we're here to talk about today is fairly significant, extremely important, and you guys need to really, for all you military guys out there in the morning, have a cup of coffee, sit down, put your listening ears on, and pay attention, because this is some serious stuff. So, Non CDL Hotshot has and is killing itself, and not by major blows, but by 1 trillion paper cuts. People running illegally, people running, rogue, not knowing the law. So basically what's happened, and this has been a long time coming, it's been in the works for a while, and how I see this whole thing playing out is the 2022 regulations that are being put in place in February. That's just the start. What I see happening is once these regulations are put into effect, the next regulation to follow will be, if you are going to run intrastate or interstate commerce, you will have to have a CDL. Okay, that's how I see this coming down. It's coming, and I'm telling you now, guys. Mark my words. Within the next couple of years, Non CDL Hotshot will be dead. It'll be gone. So, why, you may ask, do I say this? Dear Bryan, why do you say this? Well, I say this because I see it. I see it in what I'm reading. I hear things. I have friends within the industry that go to symposiums, that hear the legislative branch of the country all up in arms because of, when it comes to D.O.T. fines, D.O.T. violations, the majority of that is done by hotshots. So what's happening is that this new 2022 regulation will be the start. That's where it's going to start. After that, as I understand it, there is another law being proposed or being written. I'm not sure how far it is, but they say within the next 2 years, that basically states that if you want to run interstate commerce, you're going to need a CDL. So, what that does is it cuts non-CDL hotshots out altogether. Now let's talk about the 2022 regulations, February 7th, 2022. And this is what I'm telling you to do now, if you haven't already done it. Because what I'm telling you to do now is get your CDL. Now. Not tomorrow, not in 6 months, today. Don't wait, don't put it off, don't play games with it. Go download the book, study it for 5 minutes, and go get your permit and get it done. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. This is so serious now that it not only affects just non-CDL people wanting to get a CDL, it affects everybody. If you are a CDL holder and you want to get a new endorsement, such as tankers, doubles, triples, hazmat, you got to go to school. You're going to have to go to school. This, and it's not a 5-minute school. You know, right now, if you want your CDL, guys, all you have to do is download a book, study it, go to the DMV, take and pass the course, and you'll get a permit. Then you have to get a vehicle and take the test later on. Excuse me, I've got to do something about this. If you didn't already know, I have had a bunch of stuff going on, and yeah, things got busy quick. So, all right, so listen, all kidding aside, this bill, this law that goes into effect February 7th, 2022, states a Class A CDL applicant must complete the Class A CDL curriculum outlined in this appendix. Now, I did a lot of research to find this, guys. I had to find it because I couldn't find what I was looking for. So, it also states that if you are trying to get a new endorsement, whether it be tanker, hazmat, doubles, triples, that you got to go to this class. You got to take this minimum curriculum. And it changes the whole game. So I want to go over this with you real quick. It just says here, and don't go anywhere. Sit tight, because we're going to talk about some other stuff too. A Class A CDL applicant who possesses a valid Class B, so this is Class B, okay, may complete the upgrade curriculum. But you hear what it's saying? You got to go to school. You're going to have to take the class. If you have a Class B and you're driving down the road and you say June of next year, I want a Class A, guess what, guys? Got to go to school. And you got to do behind the wheel in a Class A vehicle. You can't just take a test anymore. So this has changed the game. These rules have changed. So here we go. There's no minimum number of hours, but they set the curriculum. So if you can imagine sitting in a classroom, say with, just for example, 15 people, how long, let's back it down. Let's say you got 10 people in a classroom. Okay, so you got 10 people in a classroom and you have to complete this curriculum. And each one of these pieces, there's got to be a test. And through this test, then the instructor has to grade it and say, hey, you're okay. You're okay to move on to the behind the wheel training. And then you got to do behind the wheel training. So now you got 10 people doing behind the wheel. How long do you think this stuff's going to take? As I read it, it looked like 8 weeks minimum. 8 weeks it's going to take to do this. So, all right. I was shocked, guys, because as one that attended a truck driving school, 8 weeks long. At that time, it was $8,000. So you're looking 8 weeks, maybe 10 grand, 12 grand. Depends on how many people and how many instructors are available. Plus, you got to have trucks that are available. So this is going to get hairy. All right. So that's your upgraded things. Now, listen to this. There's no minimum required hours for behind the wheel training either, but you have to pass it. The instructor must determine and document that each driver trainee has demonstrated proficiency in all elements of behind the wheel, not only behind the wheel, but then in the classroom. So one of the things they did push in this, and it actually states it in this document, is that a simulator, okay, they have tractor trailer simulators, can't be used. You you got to be behind the wheel of a truck. You have to first do it on a road course, and then you have to be in public or out in traffic. All right? So, training instructors must document the total clock hours each driver trainee spends to complete the behind the wheel training. A Class A curriculum must, listen to these words that they're saying, okay? When you're dealing with law, documents, contracts, it's all in the verbiage. It doesn't say may, where it's ambiguous, or you can or you can't. No, must. That means it's got to be done, okay? So here are the words. Must. A Class A curriculum must, at a minimum, include the following. Pay attention, guys. Section 1, basic operation. Sounds easy enough, sounds like a 5-minute deal until you get into the verbiage. This section must cover the interaction between driver trainees and the commercial motor vehicle. Driver trainees will receive instruction in the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations, the MFCSR, and will be introduced with basic commercial motor vehicle instruments and controls. Now mind you, you're going to have to pass a test with this. Training providers will teach driver trainees the basic operation characteristics of a commercial motor vehicle. This section must also teach driver trainees how to properly perform vehicle inspections, control the motion of a CMV under various road and traffic conditions, employ shifting and backing techniques, and properly couple and uncouple combination vehicles. Driver trainees must familiarize themselves, must, everything here is a must. Familiarize themselves with the basic operations of a commercial motor vehicle. Guys, look, that right there is enough. If you put 10 people in a class, you're going to be there 4 days just to get all 10 people to understand those basics. Because you're always going to have that one that's the what-ifer, that will what-if a question to death. So, understand that. It's one in every group. All right, so down to, that doesn't even get you into, a lot. Now you got orientation. So this is where we start with the program. You get orientated. Let's say it takes 30 minutes to orientate you. Well, now you're going to go into controls, system controls, and the dashboard. The pre and post trip inspections. This is the second unit, the pre and post trip. I want to tell you now, guys, when I took the test, there was 189 things that you had to know on a pre and post trip. 189. You had to know what they were, know what they did, be able to identify them, and know if they were faulty. Then during my test, I had to get 80%. Okay, 80% of 186 due to math. The next section is basic controls. The only thing I can say is this stuff, they're going to read this out of a book and teach you how to do it and try to give you a visual of it. And, it's going to take forever. Shifting, operating a transmission. Backing and docking, coupling and uncoupling. Then you have safe operating procedures, This section must teach the practices required for safe operation of a combination vehicle on the highway under various road, weather, and traffic conditions. The training providers must teach driver trainees the federal rules governing the proper use of a seatbelt and its assembly. I'd tell you I was making this up, but I'm not. They have communication, distracted driving, speed management, space management, night operations, extreme driving conditions. Now they have section 1A.3 has advanced operations, which is skid control, hazard perception, jackknife control, railroad and highway crossings. You know what's weird? When I was in school, I remember all this stuff, going through it. I just don't, you don't remember it forever, but then it comes into practice when you go to use it. Section 1A.4 is vehicle systems reporting malfunctions. Identifying and diagnosing a malfunction. Roadside inspections. This section, and we've had questions right on the Facebook page about this, you know, what a driver should expect on a standard roadside inspection conducted by an authorized personnel. Maintenance, non-driving activities. Handling and documenting cargo. Environmental complacent issues. Hours of service requirements. Fatigue and wellness. Post-crash procedures. External communications. Whistleblower. Trip planning. Drug and alcohol. Medical requirements. Now that is your classroom curriculum, okay? Just that. You're going to have to learn all that. You're going to have to take a test. Now, I will tell you this. Do I think it's bad? I really don't, guys. I think it's good. You know, I'm a safety guy, so I'm all about the safety of it. And I think there's a lot of people on the road that have no idea what's going on. None. So, here we go on this. Now, let's get behind the wheel. Behind the wheel training. First, you have to go to a range. So, you know, it's basically telling you they're going to teach you to drive. They're going to teach you all of that. Vehicle inspection, straight line backing, alley dock backing, off-seat backing, parallel parking blind spot. Let me tell you, that's a tough way to go right there if you got a blind spot of parallel park. Coupling and uncoupling. This is hands-on stuff. Behind the wheel public road. You must engage in activity on the road, guys. They're going to have to take you out in a CMV and do it. The vehicle controls, left turn, right turn, lane changes, curves, highway speed. Then it says you must demonstrate a proficiency in it. So that instructor has to say, hey, you're okay so far. Communication and signaling, visual searches, speed and space management, safe driving behavior, hazardous perception, railroad and highway crossing, night operations, extreme driving conditions, skid control. Then you go into basic operations of a commercial motor vehicle. And you're going to have to learn to shift. You're going to have, I mean, guys, this is serious. I'm going to tell you now. this goes on for another 5 sections, and I'm not going to read all of it, but it is serious stuff. And my suggestion is this: if you are today, the summer of I believe it's August the 10th. I'm doing this August the 10th. A non-CDL or a person without a CDL, I would highly recommend you get the book. You can download it off the web for your state. Get the book, study it, and go get your permit immediately. If you are a CDL holder that is not fully endorsed, that's doubles, triples, tankers, hazmat. If you are not fully endorsed, download the book, take those sections, and go take the test and get endorsed. If you are a B-class driver and you're planning ever going and getting your A-class, do it today. Download it, go take the test, be done. Guys, it's not that hard. It's not that hard today to get your CDL. Do it. That's my recommendation. 2 years I'm giving non-CDL to continue, and I believe it'll be shut down. They're going to pass a law. It's going to say that if you're going to do any kind of interstate, intrastate transport of goods, you're going to have to take that training. Now, let's talk about all you guys wanting to lease drivers on. Okay? Think about this. If you're wanting to lease drivers on, well now, because after February 7th, you have all these new requirements that you have to deal with. And all these new requirements, and I bet you I don't have this right here where I can see it, and I hate it, but all these new requirements is going to be, if you hire a CDL driver on with in less than a year, you have to put them through all this different training and all this other stuff. And that's one reason I don't lease people. I know what I have. I know what I can do, and I just do me. One truck, one trailer, that's me. But if you want to lease people on, by all means, do it. But you're going to have all these documents in place to make that happen. All right, guys, if I haven't scared you by now, I don't know what else to do to get you to go get your CDL permit and CDL. Because if you wait, you will absolutely have to go to class February 7th and 4. So, yeah, this wasn't half as much fun as, the income videos, but, you got to tell you guys what you got to tell you. So, look, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you, all you first responders, all you veterans. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you've done. And thank you for all you will continue to do. We owe you a great debt of gratitude. Please share this video with some friends. Pass it around. Anybody that might want their CDL needs to go get it. If you're looking to try to get started in this business, I'll leave a link below to Miss Mary. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out. Yeah, this is Bryan with DD214 Transport. Like, subscribe, and hit the little bell. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.